Hello remodeling fans, I am Jay with Classic Kitchens Etc. And today we are in our latest kitchen remodel. So let me show you around. Let's start off with the countertops, since they are front and center in this space. These are quartz countertops. Quartz, as you know, is a fantastic countertop for kitchens. It is non-porous. You don't have to seal it, so it's really easy to take care of. You do have to watch out for hot things though, right? Like directly out of the oven, putting stuff down on it. It's not recommended. You want to put a doily down or a mat or something like that. Other than that, very easy to clean, hard to stain. Calcium deposits are easy to remove. These quartz countertops come from a manufacturer called Arizona Tile. This particular color is called Calacatta Miranda. It is a white background quartz with gray veins going through it. So it's very realistic when you see it real close. It has really natural looking veins going through it and just very subtle. So it's very beautiful. For the countertop edge, we went with a square countertop edge. That's pretty popular nowadays, especially with a more contemporary look like this. And then let's jump to the cabinets. We have gray base cabinets and white upper cabinets. It's a really cool contrast, especially with the wood. Now, you know I love design that has warm tone floors. I mean, for me, I love warm tone floors and cool tone walls, or you can reverse that if you'd like. I like to have the sense of warmth and the cool tone. So in this design, we went with the warm tone floor, the gray base cabinets, and then white uppers, which is all cool tone, right? The backsplash is a brick tile that looks like glass. It is also from the manufacturer Arizona Tile. It is a 4x12, and it's a porcelain tile actually, which is really nice. It's rated for commercial applications, which is also very nice. In a residential application like this, it's never gonna get the beating that it would take in a commercial situation. So this is gonna last a long time. Also, it's a lot easier to clean, and it can take a lot of harsher chemicals if you have cleaning folks that like to use harsh chemicals. We grouted it with a acrylic-based grout. Now, I love acrylic-based grouts because, again, like the quartz countertop, they dry non-porous. You don't have to seal them. It's hard for dirt, well, it's pretty much impossible for anything to get in the grout itself. You can only get it on the top of things, on the top of the joints, and then you can just mechanically clean it off, right? Like scrub brush, something like that. So very easy to take care of over the long term. So back to the tile, which is from Arizona Tile. It is called Vetri Fume, is the gray color here. Now we went with 80%, or the original design was 80% gray and 20% white. I don't know if that's where we actually ended up. We just basically went with a gray background for the most of it, and then we added in, sprinkled in some white tiles. That's the design style called just put one where I tell you to. That's the design style we went with. So for that, and you can see it looks really cool. You know, you just sprinkle them in there. It gives it a little something extra. We also tiled all the way to the ceiling, which is nice. This is an 8-foot ceiling. Talking about the structure of this kitchen got changed as well. We started with a drop ceiling in here, so we removed all that. This was a standard California drop. It's a very irritating design style that California went with for a long time. So now it's really hard to get cabinets to fit right in that space. So the best thing to do, if you can afford it, is to rip out the ceiling, right? Rip it out, make it all flat and nice, and now you get these big, nice, tall cabinets that go all the way to the ceiling, and you don't have to sacrifice any space in the cabinets or have a giant filler and crown with these little tiny cabinets. So this is the best way to do it if you can do it. All right, after the ceiling was torn out, we also wanted to give her a pantry space that was actually usable. So what we did is, this was originally cabinets against this wall, and it had a pretty much unused dining space behind it. So what we did is bump out this whole section here, made a recessed niche for the fridge, and then made this really cool pantry space here out of that space that's behind it. So this used to just be wall that ended here, and now it goes back like 7 feet. We put on this new door here. I like it with the frosted glass. It looks really cool. And the homeowner put that pantry plaque up there, which is really cool. Self-serve, open 24/7, that's cute. And then refrigerator cabinet above the fridge. You know, as usual, if you're doing a fridge, you probably have a 12-inch cabinet above your fridge right now, which leaves a big gap above the fridge. You're probably putting stuff on it. That's terrible. So this is a 24-inch cabinet. So it's nice to go with a 24-inch depth cabinet. It's a little more flushed out with the fridge, a lot more usable space, because now, as you can see, I can just reach and put everything right here versus having something in front of the cabinet that, you know, as you can imagine, this is a 12-inch cabinet. You're gonna put stuff in front of it because it's gonna be shallower, right? And then to get at the cabinet, you're gonna have to take everything off, and then you're gonna have to go in the cabinet. Super annoying. So this is nice. And even though you might only use the first 12 inches, it still just looks pretty. So that's a nice way to do it. So inside the pantry, again, because with every remodel space, the cool part about remodeling is that you're working with a fixed area. So you have to get creative on how you lay it out. We got really creative on the inside of the pantry here. So we have a 6-inch depth shelving on one wall, and then a 12-inch depth shelving on another wall. And then we also added a little niche in the back here for vacuum and Swiffers and brooms and all that good stuff. The cool thing about the 6-inch shelving is that everything is really accessible and very easy to see everything. It's beautiful. At the sink area, we went with a apron front sink, stainless steel. You can see it looks really beautiful against the gray base cabinets and the white countertops. And then a brushed nickel faucet. And of course, my favorite, push button control for the garbage disposal. Very cool, very handy. So now you're washing your chicken, got some stuff down there, you press the button there. You don't have to come all the way to the wall to press the button and get all that chicken juice everywhere. And that's a patented term, chicken juice. Inside the garden window, we opted for slab countertop as well. And then we did a mitered edge with a waterfall here. So this is all protected from water from the sink very, very well, and also makes a really nice clean base for plants, or like in this case, just some decorative items. When you're picking your faucet, you can see that you can go with a little more industrial look faucet, and it looks really cool in a space like this. Also, when you're figuring out your tiles for your backsplash, you want to make sure you figure out what the trim is going to be and where you're going to put the tile. Anytime you have a window, which typically you have a window around the sink area, you want to figure out, am I tiling into that space? And then if so, I'm going to make a tile around it, or what am I doing? And then what is my trim pieces that I'm going to be using, right? So these are all things that you want to consider when you're designing your kitchen. Starting with, actually, let me back up a second, starting with the amount of space you have between your cabinets and the edge of your window, right? You want to leave at least like 2.5 inches, right? If you have to have it smaller because of the layout or whatever, then it is what it is. But you don't want to come, if you can be at least 2.5 inches away, that looks nice. The closer you come to that, it starts to look a little bit crowded, unless you have a really big window. And then you want to think about, do I want to tile the whole thing, or do I want to stop the tile short? And then am I tiling inside the window, and what problems is that going to cause if I go inside the window? And that'll help you make decisions on where you want to stop the tile and what kind of trim pieces to use. Let's talk about some of the bells and whistles to the cabinetry. Lazy Susan in the corner, very important. I love Lazy Susans, and this is not your typical Lazy Susan. This is what's called a Super Susan from the manufacturer Canyon Creek. These are Canyon Creek cabinets. I don't know if you know this, but I love Canyon Creek cabinets. They make a Super Susan. So what's special about a Super Susan over Lazy Susan is it doesn't have the plastic parts on the inside. It's all made out of wood. The shelves can hold more weight. And the Lazy Susans are all made out of wood versus plastic. So I like them a lot better than a regular Lazy Susan. The thing with a Lazy Susan is you have to remember to teach your kids this and learn it yourself, is close the one door first and then close the other door, right? don't drag this door across the face of the cabinets like so, or else you are gonna ruin the cabinetry. All right. Next to that, we have your waste and your recycle, which is perfect. Now you know me and my triangles. I like to put stuff close to the stove. I like to have stuff. I like to have the trash and recycle, not stuff. Stuff can go anywhere. I like to have the trash and recycle next to the stove, so it's easy to put in there. I like to have it next to the sink, so it's easy to put in there. And then we have the island right there. So it's another place that you might be prepping, and then you put it into the trash and recycle there. Next to that is the spice pullout. Now this is a really wide spice pullout. They typically are 4 or 6 inches. This one is a 12, so this is a lot wider, and it fits 3 rows of product in each shelf. These shelves are adjustable, super handy to have. Highly recommend it. Then on the other side, we went with a 4 bank. You gotta have a 4 bank in every kitchen because you need places for, you know, extra storage, you know, your tin foil, your saran wrap, your baggies, all that stuff, right? So 4 banks are great for all that stuff. 3 banks are great for your everything else. Tupperware, pots, pans, strainers, you name it. And then you always have the shorter top drawer for flatware and cooking utensils and all that good stuff. For the upper cabinets, we again went with the accented white upper cabinets, and then we accented the white cabinets with some glass inserts. So this is a special glass with a special name called seated glass, which I just learned right now. But I probably learned it before too. But I just relearned it. It's always nice to relearn something. What's cool about it is you can see pretty much right through it, right? So if you're not clean, right? Or you don't have things you want to display, then don't do that to yourself, right? That's just gonna be, you need a hard pass on that one. If you are one of those uber organized people, which give me a call, you're probably one of my clients, then you can go with something like this where you have it set up all nice and beautiful all the time, right? And then we have our Lazy Susan corner cabinet. Now these don't come with the wood shelves, they only come with the plastic shelves because the theory is that you're not putting anything really heavy in there. So these are also adjustable, very cool. And it also makes the corner at an angle, which looks cool as well, instead of having that hard 90. All right, and next to the sink, we have the dishwasher, of course. Next to that, we have 2 sets of 3 bank of drawers. Again, great for all those things I mentioned previously. And then we have our microwave cabinet. Now, microwave cabinets are very cool. They get the microwave off the countertop, which is great. A lot of folks are going with microwaves in the base cabinets, which is a cool design as well. But I also like it in the upper cabinets. It gives it, you know, the cabinet's a little depth change, which is nice. You could probably see that this is a 12-inch cabinet and then it pops out to 21 here. So that's kind of nice. It gives it a little depth change. I like changes like that. It feels more interesting. And then you can put in cool KitchenAid appliances like this where you touch a button and the door pops open. How cool is that? It's like, oh, and then the buttons and everything are inside there. Oh, that's fantastic. Make sure that when you're getting your microwave, selecting your microwave, make sure you know what cabinet you're putting it in and what your trim kit is gonna be. Every microwave, not every microwave, before somebody kills me on the comments, a lot of microwaves, most microwaves come with a trim kit. So you wanna figure out not the microwave, but what is the trim kit, and that's how you will judge your whole setup here. I've been seeing recently base microwave drawers that have their own trim kits, like self-trimming microwave, so there is no trim kit. So that's interesting change, or something that I just recently noticed. And I mean recently, maybe in the last 5 years. That's my recent. Another great touch for any kitchen remodel is lighting, right? So you wanna have your down lighting, your recessed lights, that's very important. You wanna have your task light over your sink, that's important. And then for ambiance, you want your under cabinet light. Boom, see, isn't that nice? And that just adds a little more warmth to the space and also because these are ultra low voltage, you can leave them on all night and it doesn't cost a lot of money to run them. So you can use them kind of as a nightlight situation. Also, it's nice, it does still provide good working light. So at night, you know, when you have them on, but then it's not so bright, you know, because you don't have all the lights up here on. So like in the middle of the night, it's nice to have them on or have the option to turn them on. And there you go, now they're off. And if you can, make sure you, like me, have a person who turns them on and off whenever you want. That's the best part about having under cabinet lights. Now, all the cool parts, we have talked about this kitchen, and there is a lot of cool things in this kitchen. The island is probably the coolest. Let's start off with, it's 10 feet long. I mean, it is a giant expanse of countertop. We have cabinets on one side and seating on the other side. So it is a nook dining area and island, prep, working island, all in one space. It's a very, very good use of space. We put a very large 3 bank drawers on the end, fantastic for pots and pans, which is exactly what's in here, close to the stove, so it's easy to grab. Again, this area is used as prep for the rest of the kitchen space, and then this is used for when your friends are hanging out bothering you while you're trying to cook. On the one side here, we have full height doors, so that's a 12-inch depth cabinet. So this must be a 35-inch wide or a 36-inch wide area here. So we have 2 feet on one side and we have 1 foot on the other side of cabinetry, back to back. So that makes 3 feet. And on the other side of those full height doors, we put a full bank of drawers, 24-inch deep, and again, another 3 bank. So great storage for large things. Next to that, we did a finished end panel, not a finished end panel. Finished end panel would be square. We did a door front. So this is an addition on the side of the cabinet box to make it look like it's another door. Obviously you don't, so it matches all the space. You have an option when you design your cabinets whether or not to go with drawer fronts to match your doors or slab drawer fronts. In this case, we went with the drawer fronts to match. So they are not slab, meaning they are not flat. They have a design to them, as you can see. So we put that on the sides of the bank of drawers, and then it looks a lot more built in and custom. So I really like that. But just make sure you don't put a handle on it so people aren't yanking it off the cabinet, because this is not a real cabinet. The cabinet's right here, right? The last design feature that we will talk about is the floors. Again, I kind of mentioned it in the beginning of the video. I like warm tone, cool tone mixtures. We went the wood look waterproof laminate and then went with the cool tone cabinets on the walls. When you're designing your space, you want to think of that same thing, right? Do you want cool tones on the floors and warm tones on the walls, or are you reversing that? Try not to go all warm tones or all cool tones, because all cool tones can look a little sterile, and all warm tones can look a little overwhelming. So you want to have a nice balance of both, I think is really important. The last thing that I want to talk about is the base on the island. Another cool design tip that I would implement in your kitchen is to have baseboard around the island. Typically, you know, if you have baseboard underneath here, and when I say baseboard, I'm not talking about your MDF or poplar wood base that goes around your walls, right? That trims out your walls. I'm talking about cabinet baseboard. So it's a completely different kind of base. Well, not completely different, but it's typically solid wood, but painted to match the cabinets. It comes in different styles, things like that. You can do it under the toe kick. That's like really fancy kitchens do that a lot, but I just don't see the use of putting it where you're never gonna see it. But on the island, you will see it. It is front and center, so I would recommend wrapping it with the island base for your island. That concludes our latest kitchen remodel. I hope you got a lot of design tips out of it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Woo! Let's call it a wrap. And what else? Now see, now you got me thinking because I looked at the other camera and I totally forgot what I was talking about. No, it's okay, it's okay. Okay, here we go. We can go over here, I think, to talk about that. Let me just, it bumps out and now we're hearing the time must be 2 o'clock.
Dance a little with it.
It's pretty nice, actually.
It's very gentle.
It's soothing. Sounds like it's from a show. Is this the Beatles?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You know, I don't know why I was thinking Golden Girls, a theme song. I'm like, is this the Golden Girls theme song?
We'll quit in a few seconds.
Nice. All right, now I'm all centered and zen. All right, I can switch. Are you sure you're not going to yell at me later? What else was that? What else was I trying to say? Tuck in my shirt.
I should have been recording. Well, I guess you're recording that.
I am recording.
I close up you there.
Okay. Just splicing that into the and now this. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Let's talk about some of the bells and whistles. Oh, I'm looking at both cameras. All right. On each side of the, my voice just broke like I went through puberty. Let me try that again. This is a special glass that has a special name that I do not know. What was it called?
Seeded.
Seeded?
S-E-E-D.
S-E-E, seeded. Oh, now I see it. Oh, because it looks like little seeds. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's very apropos. Okay, so this is a special glass called seeded glass, which I knew the entire time. Okay, let me start over. This is, yeah, don't break on me, Twyla, all right? Be strong. Some of them now I'm seeing not most, okay. Let me say this properly. But most of the uppers still trim kit, and so you're gonna use it. I don't even know if this even makes any sense. I feel like I'm rambling at this point. All right, let's go. In this situation, we went with slab drawer fronts. So, oh, I did say slab?
You did.
Oh.
You said in this case we went with slab.
Oh, thanks for watching. No, that's not what we do. That's not what we're doing at all. What the heck do we say? That was it? We didn't say something else too on the last one? As I say with the guy, squeaky voice. Let's try it again.
Okay.
That concludes, whoa. I'm coming after you if you don't get this. If you don't get this kitchen design right in your house, I will find you. That concludes our latest kitchen design. Oh my God. That concludes our latest kitchen remodel video. Oh my God, I've lost it. I've completely lost it. That concludes
our latest kitchen remodel.
There you go. That's it.